Yeah. Every morning seems just the same old routine. Blowing trees, writing these bars, line after line, mining for a diamond, but a dime is what I find. Hiding from the truth by simply coasting through these hard times with green, even though I'm feeling blue. But I gotta face the facts, girl, you know that it's true. That maybe what I'm supposed to do is not to get so close to you. But these days the only things that seem great are fading away. And the only time I feel home is when I'm alone or far away. But the road calls says the wind blows. 10 missed calls on my flip phone, so it stays closed. Staring out my window while my mind slowly goes off into my headphones. Hoping that the dough will be worth it for the show, but who knows?
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day. And there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change, no. And there's nothing you can say that will ever make.
Same old thing, working class life, and yes, it surely will bring a food to the table and a roof when it rains. But for the most part, you're just doing the same thing, a part of a machine with a ball and a chain. You try to be happy, yet all you feel is pain. It's a shame to use your brain and know that someone never changed, but if insanity's the game, then you
wear a condom. We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shut.
All right. We are up, running, and it is Sunday, the 7th of June. Welcome, everybody. It's another beautiful month, and it's another beautiful weekend.
It's crazy because last week we did a show, and it was the 31st day of May, and now we're like halfway through June. How does that work?
You know, time just manages to find its way whether we want it to or not, right? Welcome, everybody. How you getting along today?
It's the weekend, dude. It's the end of the weekend. Time to, do a little stretching exercises and get ready for the work week.
Exactly. You know, I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to have a good day, and it sounds like you're doing good today, too.
I'm not doing bad, man. I was up early this morning. I went to bed, I guess, reasonably early, like 10 or so last night. And I got up at like 6:30 this morning, and I sat on my porch, and I had some coffee and waited to hear some noises around the neighborhood, like human life and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started cutting the grass. Had to get it done before it got to be damn near 100 degrees today.
Well,
so I got all that done.
At least you're having good weather. We're getting the good old 50-degree, rainy, dark clouds, you name it.
I was getting some weather alerts. My kids live in Montana, so I'm getting weather alerts all the way from Billings to from Billings all the way out west in Montana. And I'm like, wow, severe thunderstorms. I'm like, they never have severe thunderstorms there. And if they do, they're just like really super, super quick. But they had a good bunch of storms come through. But it was like in the 80s last week.
Yeah.
High 70s, low 80s. And then my daughter's just like, no, it's going to storm, but it's 45.
Yep. That's kind of what it's been up here. I mean, we were hot, and then all of a sudden, we're not. And Heath, I'm sad to hear about the second-degree burns to your legs. And Cats and Poof, the pizza was created. Hello, Branko. Good to see you. Hello, Steven. Good to see everybody. Come on in. Welcome. What a week. I'm going to be going out on my first camping trip starting next week.
I know you're excited about that. You've been talking about that for a while. You finally got the go-ahead a couple of weeks ago. And
Yep. Got the go-ahead. In fact, my RV, I pick it up on Tuesday. It's been in They've been going through the engine, getting everything all repaired, making sure nothing's gone bad on it since it'd been sitting for so long from prior owner. It's all ready to go. He's just going to add a couple things on it come this Monday and Tuesday. I take it home, pack it up, get everything in it, and we go out on Thursday.
That kind of reminds me of a cartoon that I saw that I gave to my daughter when she lived here.
Yeah.
As you said, you had to make sure that nothing has gone bad.
Yeah.
So the guy's walking by his bowl of fruit in his kitchen, and says to his wife, "Hey, I think the bananas have gone bad." And then the next scene pans over to where the bananas are, and the bananas are saying, "Fuck you, Craig."
It's still funny, even though it's kind of an old joke. It still has relevance. Okay, Branko's hoping to go back to work here soon. That's good to hear. That's just it. Things are finally starting to open back up. Hello, D-Max. How you doing, man? Things are starting to open up. It's something to be positive about. Work is starting to happen again. People are able to get back to work and feel good. What they say, 2.5 million jobs added in this last month.
That's awesome. I think we are gonna be seeing some of these never before seen jobs added, because it's just these jobs are coming back.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me that of all the jobs that are available, how many layoffs were there during this thing?
Oh man, I know that unemployment got up to like 13.5%, which is really high.
Actually, it's down to 13.5%.
Oh, down to, okay.
But there's so many jobs there.
Yeah.
All these people that were deemed non-essential, businesses closing. That's a lot of people. I mean, we have 230-ish million in the States, but to have 40 million people out of work. Wow, that's incredible.
Here's the interesting part. If you think about it, during the Obama years, they said they had somewhere around 40 million unemployed.
I don't know, man. I've been kind of hands off on the news just because it's a beatdown, or it has been a beatdown this entire last week.
It has been.
On purpose, I have been paying attention to what's going on, but I don't consume much of the news at all. Not because everything is George Floyd or it's COVID-19. Mostly it's George Floyd.
Yeah.
And defund the police. And that's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. There are people still saying, yeah, exactly, Ram. I don't understand, and I don't understand the movement, and I really don't want to get into it because, quite honestly, it's like saying, okay, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and take out anybody of that would protect people, and let's just let everybody do whatever they want and hope everything goes right. What?
It's not necessarily like that. It's not like an anarchy type thing. It's just they want a citizen-based law enforcement,
and it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it's kind of what you have already. They are citizens. It's just it's not going to work because at that point there aren't rules to go by. It's social. It's you shouldn't do that, bro, but let's have a vote on it. What do you guys think?
Hopefully cooler heads will prevail and smarter heads will prevail. You can't just dismantle.
No, you can't.
It's going to be like a nationwide thing.
Well,
certain colored states are really.
It's not even states right now. It's just specific
municipalities within the states.
There's a couple cities that are talking about doing it, and I think they're throwing the idea out there at this point in time because of all the riots, just to see what they can get away with. And that's sad, because at this point in time, things are trying to come back up. they're trying to reinforce the negative rather than reinforce the positive. I mean,
Yes, we have so many good things going for us as a country.
exactly. You know, we've got a lot of good things. Jobs are coming back. There's a lot of positive coming back in, and I don't want to be negative. I think it's great that we've got. I mean, they're sitting. In fact, numbers were brought up about COVID after opening up. Numbers have gone up, and it's like it's expected to go up, but we have the ability to help ourselves now. There are treatments now.
The thing is that the number of cases are going up. Absolutely, yes. They are going up. But last week I think we were at 17 million tests in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm doing a quick check right now. We have 21,200 total tests. So yeah, of course the infection rate. We just passed 2 million in the United States, but the amount of hospitalizations has decreased dramatically.
Exactly. Because of, and they're saying that hydrochloroquine isn't proven, but yet anybody who's using it, they're saying they have great results. So, I mean, you can't be upset about that. That's great that they've got something working. They can sit there, and I've heard all sorts of stuff. It's like, you know what? It's great. I don't care what anybody says. If they've got something and it can help and it can knock it down quick, why wouldn't you want to promote that? That's great. Oh, D-Max saying he needs a haircut. So do I, bud. So do I.
I've had 2 haircuts. Well, not counting the one that I gave myself.
Yeah.
I've had 2 legit haircuts since our quarantine stuff was lifted. Well, since the haircutting places were allowed to open up.
I've had, we just allowed ours to open. I was going to go do it yesterday, but I had my own little problem. So this week I'm going to go get a haircut. get rid of my bushiness. Q retraction. What's did you hear about the HCQ retraction?
Oh, the World Health Organization said it's good for you. No. They were talking about ibuprofen.
Oh,
ibuprofen is not good, and then all of a sudden it's not bad. Not a recommended thing, but it's they kind of switched. If you look at any of the proclamations from the World Health Organization or CDC since the start of this, they go one way and then they go another way. And then they go another way.
I don't know that you can trust them anymore. They're just proving to be really, really wishy-washy. Hello, Ross. It's good to see you. Excuse me. Yeah, they're proving to be very wishy-washy about what they're standing on, and they've been proven not to be able to be unbiased. That's sad. D-Max says he don't let his wife cut his hair.
Oh man, I think she'd do a wonderful job.
You know what? I cut most of mine, and then I let my wife finish up the back where I can't reach. And between the two of us, we do a great job. I'm actually considering not going to a barber because it's actually not bad. Oh, the hydrochloroquine retraction. Yes, Rim, I heard about that. They're trying to say that hydrochloroquine doesn't work now.
After they were screaming it from the mountaintops that it was a viable treatment.
Exactly. And it's not the president saying it, and it's not a lot of doctors, it's the World Health Organization.
I don't know, man. It's making my head spin, so it's...
Yeah.
This is just going to be another week of me doing my job, maintaining myself in my house, and just driving on, man. I do me. Like I actually wore a mask this week because I ended up going to Costco.
Oh.
And Costco does require face coverings to shop in their store.
Yes.
So I did that. I actually got my things in the mail. It's like a gator. It's really super lightweight, really breathable. And I ordered them like 40 days ago.
Yeah.
Finally got them in the mail. I tried to contact the company, and they're like, the COVID-19, restrictions. There may be a delay in delivery. So after like 30 days, I contacted the company on their little online chat thing, customer service, and I said, hey, here's my order number. I ordered it on this day. Should have been here already. Even using your little COVID chart there, like if you ordered it on this day, it should arrive by this day. I was already 10 days past that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it doesn't show up this week, I want my money back. So it didn't show up in that week's time. So I contacted, because I paid through PayPal. And PayPal's really, really awesome as far as customer service goes.
Yeah.
If you get the wrong thing, if you don't get the thing at all, you just go through PayPal, you dispute it, then they contact the seller and take care of it. Then the seller has a certain amount of time to either respond or refund or take some kind of action. So I told PayPal, and then they contacted the seller, and like 3 days later, I had my stuff in the mail.
Nice. Very good. Oh, Kamo said the studies that denounce hydrochloroquine have been proven to be flawed. Yeah, and that's... See, understand, I'm kind of like Koz. I really haven't been watching the news all that often this week or the last week because I just can't deal with the negativity that they're putting out. Too much is going on. And come on, guys, you know this. It's getting to that point where everybody, they want you to feel bad for being a man, being this, being that. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to feel bad for being me.
It's like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Step it away, dude.
I don't need to feel bad for who I am. I already got enough problems. I don't need more. So no, I kind of got tired of it. So I've been binging Netflix and.
So we were discussing Netflix
yes.
before we went live. And you asked me what I'm watching, and I had to think about it for a minute. But I started watching Queen of the South. Queen of the South season 4 just dropped on Saturday.
What is that about?
Queen of the South is about a human trafficked female that comes to the United States.
Okay.
From Mexico, and she's forced to be a drug mule. I'm really summarizing. There's a lot of drama in between this.
Yeah.
And she rises through the ranks, and she is actually becoming, or she has become, one of the most powerful drug lords. And she started off in Texas, and then season 4 they're in New Orleans. And they kind of take it everywhere from, I think, Tucson or Phoenix, and she's moving eastward. I mean, I guess her goal is Miami and the whole eastern seaboard. So this is just picking up where the season 3 left off. Obviously, it's really good, man. There's a lot of people getting shot in the head, which is the way that they shoot these things is just the way that they shoot these shows is awesome. It's really they do a really good job.
Yeah. Well, and
it's a good show. It's not a family show by any means, but and I got hooked on these drug shows after watching Breaking Bad. This is all of the since you watched Breaking Bad, you might enjoy this. And then there's been a whole slew of shows that I've watched.
Well, and see, I remember us talking last year or so. We were talking about Drugs Inc.
That was probably last year.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it doesn't surprise me you get into these drug shows. In fact, on Netflix, you realize they have Drugs Inc. now.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Ah, okay. Hello, Wall. It's good to see you. How you doing? and Branko, behave yourself.
So anyway, man, I've been watching that. I watched another show that showed up in Netflix's top 10 called Our House, which is it's a Canadian film. Family living. One of the children in the family is a college student. He's also kind of like a engineer genius kind of guy who's in college.
Yeah.
And mom and dad end up getting killed. So
Ooh.
he leaves school during what appears to be like spring break to go and take care of his younger siblings.
Yeah.
But he's making something, and this thing opens up like a portal to another dimension and stuff. So
Huh.
it's a pretty good. What they think they're doing is contacting their dead parents, but it's something more mysterious than that. It's not bad. It's not a bad show. It's not the greatest acting. You're not going to see a big name actor in it, but it's good. It's an independent film.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Well, it might be. Again, I've been doing the whole series thing. I'm still getting through because my wife is watching it with me, so therefore I can't watch it all the time. Blacklist.
Blacklist is good, but it got kind of repetitive for me, so I stopped watching it.
I'm like in the 4th season. So
There's like what 9 seasons?
6.
6?
6.
It started getting old.
Yeah. And I'm also now here's the silly stuff. Now don't judge me. I watch things like on Netflix. They've got a series. It's a limited series. There's like 7 or 8 episodes. It's called Cheer, and it's about competitive cheerleading, the kind where they actually do throws, and they actually follow the best team in the United States.
Yeah, that's it's cheer. There's a lot of cheer gyms down here.
Yeah.
My kid went through she wanted to learn how to do a back handspring.
Ooh.
So she wanted so she got involved with it was out in Weatherford, some cheer place.
Yeah.
And the 2 coaches there were both cheer people at Oklahoma State University, and they were very, very, very good. And that gym was extremely competitive.
Oh yeah.
So my daughter, she's like, no. She just wants to learn how to do a back handspring. She doesn't want to compete. She doesn't want to, And if you're just there to do a workout, then they don't pay as much attention to you.
Exactly.
Unless you wanted to be a competitive kid.
Yeah.
It costs out the nose.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost as bad as like Dance Moms. Both of my kids danced for a long time. My oldest daughter danced all the way from the time that she got out of diapers until she graduated high school. It was awesome. It was really good for her. She's really, really good.
Yeah.
She enjoyed it. My youngest one, she did it just because her older sister did it, and then she got bored with it, and she's like, "Nah, I'm done." How you doing, Bailey? Nice of you to join us.
Good to see you, Bailey. And let me see. What was it? Wall is going to be having a Twilight marathon here soon.
I don't think I've seen one of the Twilights.
Oh, you have to see them all in order. You almost have to binge it. So
I haven't. My kids watched it, so I think I saw one of them. I couldn't tell you which one it was.
Oh, another one to watch is Last Chance U.
Haven't heard of that one, I don't think.
It's on Netflix, and what it is they follow 2 colleges. You have to go in because they're going to try to send the second to college first, because some weirdness about Netflix. But they follow 2 colleges that are junior colleges that bring in people who are guys who could have made it to the big universities, but they either had bad grades or they got in trouble or something. And this is their last chance to try to make it. They go to a junior college for 2 years, prove that they can keep a schedule, prove that they can play football and keep out of trouble, and then they go ahead and boot them up or then they can get scholarships to the big universities, which then gives them the possibility to go into NFL.
I like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it follows 2 colleges like that. And it's actually pretty interesting because, I mean, they bring guys who have gone through scandals and done stuff, and they're like, they actually brought them back when they were flipping burgers because they didn't have anywhere else to go. And they're like, well, we can still get you in. I'll give you a scholarship, but here's what you're going to have to do. And they actually show them going through the paces of the discipline, going to classes,
actually putting in the work.
Yeah, they made them do the work. And then the universities will actually show up, the recruiters will show up and actually interview their tutors and stuff and say, are they doing this? Are they how hard is it with them? And they interview the coaches and say, are they, how hard are they on you? And the coaches are very direct about it. So it's actually pretty cool to watch. But no, I've watched.
I like to see the shows where the hard work pays off.
And that's what I like, and that's what this does. Last Chance U is a good one to, if you do the work, you get there, and then Cheer is a good one for that too, because they have. In fact, it's down actually where Corsicana is.
In Texas, yeah, that's just a little bit south and east.
Okay, Corsicana has the best cheer program in the United States.
Really? That's such a small town.
And it's a junior college. They have won national championships. I think they're like their 8th or 9th year in a row.
Wow.
I take that back. They lost one in there somewhere. I think it was 2017. But they've taken nationals other than that for the last 8 or 9 years. The lady who's been doing it has been doing it for 20 years, and she has a business degree. She's got it at TexU. She's won it. She's really really bright, but she got into cheer as far as being their head coach. So yeah.
I wonder if we have any of our listeners down in the on the Gulf Coast. Going through, what was that tropical storm, Cristobal?
Ooh.
Cristobal.
It is that time of year, isn't it?
It is. But over the week, over Friday, my sister-in-law posted a picture. She says this is our quarantine vacation, and they were down on some beach in Florida.
Yeah.
And I looked at the picture. I blew up the picture. I'm like, oh shit, my mom and dad are there.
Huh.
It's like the whole family, showed up. I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
My parents are both retired, so it's always happy. It's a happy time to get them out of the house and get them out of, they live up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And my brothers and their families live in the Chicago area. So they went down to Florida this weekend, but just in time for this little tropical storm that's. They're outside of Panama City. I thought they were further down the peninsula, down just north of Tampa.
Okay.
Which is where we were all supposed to meet for Christmas, but that got postponed because of this COVID-19 thing. But so I think they just took a beginning of summer vacation thing. I think it was something that was planned.
Yeah.
So they went down there, man. They rented a Airbnb, a beach house.
Nice.
And they had the whole family there. They're cooking breakfast and having bonfires on the the backyard areas right on the beach. It was really really nice. But weather, of course, tended to move in. They were getting bands of rain.
Oh jeez. Oh, he says So Mississippi there, or he's from So Mississippi.
Yeah, it's just moving into Mississippi. It's up near Jackson now. But yeah, there's just a lot. I mean, it was a direct hit on New Orleans. But I haven't heard of any bad stuff happen.
Yeah.
They said they're getting rainfalls of about 6 inches per hour. That was this morning. And they had, of course, the flash floodings as far over as Jacksonville, because they had some bands go through Jacksonville.
That's one thing I noticed. This year is kind of have you noticed the weather is weird all over the U.S. this year?
No.
Well, for us, normally by this time we are a maintained 70s, 80s, and like I said, today we're down in the 50s. Oh, okay. Wall is saying the 100. The 100.
Oh. The 100 is a really good show.
Okay.
I watched that. I don't think they have a new. I heard there's going to be a new season, but I think there's 5 or 6 seasons right now. I watched them all. It's really cool. These child prisoners. They're on this orbiting space station.
Oh Oh, I've seen that. Okay, yeah. They start out on a space station. Earth supposedly went through an apocalypse. They jettisoned the bad kids.
Yep.
And they find out that people were living down there.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually saw the first season, and after that, I just kind of lost interest because
it started getting weird.
Yeah, it got a little too convoluted for me. I'm waiting for Umbrella Academy.
You know, I saw that. It says a new season coming. I really enjoyed Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for Umbrella Academy to come out. There's a couple of them that they say seasons are coming, and it's like, okay, come on, give them to us. This is the best time to put them out.
And was it Lock and Key?
Yeah, no kidding, right? I ran into that one. My wife and I watched it. It's like, yeah, that's supposed to come out with one too. In fact, my wife is thinking about getting the books.
I really did enjoy I enjoyed the first season of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see the second one. It's pretty good.
My wife is thinking about getting the books for that one. Which, if it's anything like the movie, it should be really, really good.
Yeah, but nothing ruins a good movie than a book.
I know, but
Vice versa too. Because if you watch all the Lock and Keys and then read the books, you're like, they didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
Look, there's like fan pages that talk about all the different keys that are available Lock and Key or in that house, and there's like 50 of them.
Really?
And I think they went through like maybe a dozen of them.
Not even that.
Right.
Wow, that would be fun. Yeah, I think they only had like 7. So that ought to be good. I like the skeleton key to Koz. Well, I'm from Lee's and it has voodoo in it. It's awesome.
You just have to appreciate both the books and the show.
And I think that's what you would actually have to do is when you actually.
It's a suspension of disbelief. You just have to let your mind go. Just follow the story.
And Kamo says Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is playing its final season as well. Wow. Okay. And you're right, Bailey. That's the one thing I've learned is you kind of have to appreciate both. You kind of have to break apart the movies versus the books because you're right.
So much into the show.
The books. Yeah, the movies only they're time constrained. Look at Lord of the Rings. I mean, those movies were over 2 hours each, and they still couldn't grasp and capture everything that went into the books. So you have to appreciate them for what they, each for what they are. I mean, in fact, my wife and I watched Lord of the Rings yesterday, the first movie. My wife and I we had our first date watching. We went on our very first date to go watch the second Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. And of all things, we thought we showed up in enough time, but they were sold out. And so we had to wait 8 hours. So we were at a mall. So for 8 hours we decided, because it was in the middle of winter and it's like really crappy out. So she's like, well, you want to stick around? So we sat around and talked.
Who does that anymore? Really?
Right?
Movies play into the instant gratification. Books tend to take time and use your imagination. That's a very good opinion. I agree with that 100%.
Exactly, and I agree with that, Bailey. You need to have both because
when you're reading a book, what voice do you use? Do you use your own voice, or do you use the voice that you imagine the character?
Exactly.
I always make up voices for the people that I'm reading about.
Here we go. Heath is in looking forward to Stranger Things. Fourth season. I'm curious as to where they're going to go with it myself. I mean, they left a couple good open ends.
The Russians.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then America's Gods. I haven't heard that one. Have you?
I have not.
And then, okay, my first date with my wife was see the Hangover 2. Stephen. You know, that's fun sometimes to remember when, if you're still married and you're happy, what did you go do? What was your first date about? And my first date, like I said, we ended up going, because we were delayed in watching the movie, we ended up going to the Outback. Also, that time. So yeah, that just thinking about that type of stuff, that's funny. My wife and I, our anniversary is this month.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you. No, Bailey, it's on my list. She asked about the Epstein docu-series.
I had one of my colleagues at work ask, because we always talk about, what are you watching on Netflix? And, he said that he watched it, and he says, you just become enraged at all of the shit that this guy got away with.
And that's, I have to watch it when I'm ready for it, yeah. And thank you, Wall. Thank you for following us, Troll Hunter 8221. No, my wife and I, let me see. We got married in 2007. And we got married on a Saturday, and we left for Hawaii on that Monday. Smartest thing you can do. When you get married, don't expect to do anything other than want to go to bed on your wedding night.
Yeah, I remember my wedding night. We got married. There was a reception, and then we had the Austin Fire Department drove us to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And we pulled up, and then the firefighter who was driving the fire engine says, because there was a valet at the hotel.
Yeah.
Threw the guy the keys and says, hey, would you mind finding some covered parking for this? And the valet just kind of looked at him. He's like, I'm just kidding. Give me back those keys. That was awesome. But anyway, we ended up going to bed, and then we had to wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning and get on a plane.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we were exhausted.
That's the reason we made sure to put a day in there. One, so that we could rest, do a little bit of cleanup because we had it at my house. And then we left on Monday. We were ready. At that point, we were able to go and feel good about it. But yeah, and we went to Maui for that. Maui was nice. But yeah, my anniversary is this month. Shoot. And I get to go out camping twice this month. I'm going to have a good month. Other than the fact I'm on antibiotics at the moment.
Now let's talk about that. So you got into a fight.
I put myself in between two cats, and I shouldn't have, but I did.
So I've got a little bit of a story here that talks about cats.
Okay, go for it.
It's a very, very small mention in an article that's just massively huge.
Okay.
It's talking about cats and do they hold grudges?
They most certainly do.
So I highlighted this because I just thought it was funny. A study at the University of Michigan determined that a cat's memory can last up to 16 hours. And it may seem like your cat's memory is longer than that, though, if you recall their reaction to something that they perceive as negative, such as being put into a cat carrier, a vet visit, or being given a bath.
Yeah.
So, in your experience, since you are the crazy cat dad, do you find that your cats hold grudges if something? Because not too long ago you got scratched up by the cat's tooth.
By the same cat.
Yeah, this is like the second verse of the same song.
Yeah. No, this wasn't a grudge. It was my mistake. Okay. I had not. It had not registered. My wife had said it in passing but didn't put an emphasis on it. She told me that my little black cat has been eyeballing and really pushing hard to get to the patio door whenever my outdoor cat comes to the patio door. And he's been trying to actually make his way out. Not to run, but to go after her. I didn't think about that. Yesterday, she was gone. My outdoor cat came up and she meowed. I went over and I opened up the patio door, stepped out, and I thought I had closed the patio door, screen door, enough to where he couldn't get through. But he managed to push it open and he dove after her. And it just so happened she was going up in my arms. So he jumped using his back claws to get to her on my leg. And he did that twice.
See, was your arm the last time, or like your wrist?
Oh, it was my hand. And that was because he's a skittish little guy. If you catch him, if you get up behind him.
You scared him.
Yeah, I scared him.
Okay, that's right. I remember that.
But this time he went for an actual attack. And I ended up with puncture marks from his claws in my right thigh, or a scratch on my right thigh and puncture marks in my calf. And the doctors feel that it was bad enough that they went ahead and put me on antibiotics. And I don't get along with antibiotics at all. You put me on antibiotics, you might as well say for however long you're on them, you're wasted, because I don't feel good. I feel groggy. I'm constantly tired. Then put on it the fact that they had to give me a tetanus shot. And I just do not feel good. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. They screw up your They screw up your digestive system. The antibiotics do also. So I don't feel. I mean, I do okay coming on the show because I'm sitting. I have a fan blowing on me, and I'm not expected to do much. But if I have to get up, understand antibiotics also flush out medicines. So all my arthritis medicine is basically non-existent at this point, and I hurt. Down to the point, even my fingertips hurt. When I'm pushing buttons for muting and stuff, it actually hurts to do that.
You need a hot bath, dude.
Oh, I want one. I just can't take one at the moment.
Yeah, broadcasting live from Owl's bath.
No, Heath. Normally my cats are very good. And this one little boy, he's intelligent, he's loving, he's a cuddle bug, but he really doesn't like this one cat. And she's 17 years old. She's an old girl. She has a room by herself. I didn't think anything of it, and I picked her up and was going to take her through the house. Normally he leaves her alone. But my wife, it didn't register, but she said that he's lately been trying to pursue her. Well, this time he decided to attack. And
so he's not pursuing her because he likes her. He's pursuing her because he doesn't like her.
Yeah, he's pursuing her because he wants to attack. He wants to hurt. He wants to get into a boxing match with her.
Stefan, this is to change the subject here because we're like that.
Yeah.
Stefan was mentioning like a yogurt or some other probiotic.
Oh, yes.
I think, aren't you got a lactose thing going on?
I have lactose problem. Probiotics are good when you're on antibiotics, but, and there's a caveat with this, you have to be careful. If you take them too close to when you take your antibiotic, it'll actually cancel out the antibiotic. And if you've got a bad enough infection, if you take it at all, it will actually interfere with the antibiotic. So I can't really take a probiotic until I know that if I have an infection, it's under control. I won't know until probably tomorrow if I have an infection or if it's out of control. If something shows up tomorrow and I'm watching, most likely I have to go in and get an IV.
Okay, you know, I'm not a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even play one on television. But what about pizza? Pizza, and you can probably ask Spanky on this, or anybody else who likes pizza, including myself. I think pizza is pretty much a cure-all.
You know, I wish it was. And Steven, yeah, you're right. I have to embrace the suck. Between the fact that I had to get that shot, the fact it's flushing out my medicine, and I'm taking the antibiotics, yeah, I have to embrace the suck because it really sucks. I didn't tell Koz, but I was close to saying, you know, I don't know if I'm going to make it this week, but I sat there and went, you know, I can charge myself up enough to make it and do a good job and still put on a smile and be happy.
And look what good time you're having.
And that's just it. I can normally get myself up for the show. I guarantee you when I'm done, within half an hour to 45 minutes, I'll be falling asleep on my in my easy chair.
Okay, so I got to vote for pizza here. Bailey says pizza is absolutely a cure-all. So there's a story about a man in Belgium.
Oh, I got that one. Hold on.
It's a man in Belgium that might not agree.
Yes.
The Belgian man said he has been receiving mysterious pizzas that he never ordered for over a decade, 10 years.
Yep.
While it may initially seem like an annoying prank, the victim says he's received so many pizzas over the years that he begins to shake every time he hears the delivery scooter coming down the street.
You know, I get that. He's 65 years old and resident of Turnhout. Says delivery drivers bring pizza to his door at all hours of the day and night. This has reportedly been going on for almost a decade, and Lankin says he has no idea why. Initially, he reportedly believed that there was some sort of mistake with his address and the correct delivery address. Unfortunately, the food kept arriving, sometimes even multiple times in the same day. While he mostly receives pizzas, other fast food items have been included in the order. One day he had received 10 different delivery drivers come to his place at the same day. One of the drivers was for 14 pizzas. Says he cannot sleep anymore. He starts shaking every time he hears a scooter on the street.
That's crazy, man.
Right? I mean,
it's probably okay if you like pizza and stuff.
But it's not. Okay, here's the question. It wasn't answered. Is it already paid for?
That's a really good question. And if these are some things that are already paid for, then you tip the driver. And I don't know what the customs are in Belgium as far as tipping your delivery drivers. But
I mean, that's just it. Is it paid for? And if it's paid for, okay, I still get it, because if it's happening even in the middle of the night, that would be disconcerting to all of a sudden get a knock on the door and have to get up and receive whatever. You know, the only person I can see being happy with something like this would be, of course, Spanky.
Hi, N. Thank you.
But that would be the very first question I'd ask. If it's paid for, you know, yeah, it's a burden. It really is. And being woken up at all sorts of times of the day and not ordering it, and they won't stop coming.
Now, if these pizza deliveries came with beer, I'm thinking he might need to change his attitude a little bit.
Yeah, right, Kamo? You'd think that they'd be, if I were him, I would be calling anything within a mile radius and going, hey, if you get a deliver, or you get an order to deliver here, and don't, it's not me.
I freaking hate pizza.
Yeah, or at that point you might actually hate pizza. Jeez.
I don't know. Here, I mean, at work, every once in a while, we'll do a big order of pizza, to feed the guys. So it's like, we'll call Pizza Hut and we'll say, bring in, 40 pizzas, medium crust.
Yeah.
Mix up the flavors, and then we pay for it right there, because no good restaurant is going to say, oh, we need to make 40 pizzas. They'll pay us when they get it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. Well, especially right now with COVID, you have to pay ahead of time because they don't want you to receive paper money. And they don't want you to touch pens or anything. You're just supposed to they show up, they put it down, they knock on the door, back up. You're supposed to have your own pen and you're supposed to sign off on the credit card.
I got my oil changed the other day, and it was a contact-free oil change. I was like, that's weird. Normally, I get out, they drive my car in, they change the oil, they park it, and then they say, okay, give us money, you can have your car back.
Yeah.
Sat in the car the entire time.
Nah, okay. Well, that isn't too bad. That ensures it's going to be quick.
It was quick. It didn't take 15 minutes.
Yeah, that isn't too bad then.
They try to upsell you through the window then.
Of course. No, I get how he would be upset. I guess I'd have to be upset, especially if they come at all hours of the night. Because I like my sleep. I love my sleep.
Establish a safe word with the pizza companies.
I agree. That's where you sit there and say, if you get this address, unless I say bozo, it's not me. Because here's the thing. If they don't pay for it and it shows up, that's a waste of their money too.
Yeah, because if you didn't order it, you're not going to pay for it.
Exactly. At that point, you're going to go, I did not order this, take it back, and they're out that money. They are. I guess
the only exception to that rule is I remember living in the barracks. Like Friday and Saturday nights, you would have the pizza guy coming around with like 30 or 40 medium-sized pepperoni pizzas, selling them for $5 each to all the drunken barracks rats.
Oh yeah, that happened all the time with us too. They're like, "Oh man, pizza was ordered, but nobody paid. Anybody want to buy a pizza for $5? Sure." Branco, you're going to have to stick around to find out. Branco wanted to know if I was going to do the owl.
Is that what your dance is called now?
I'm guessing. I didn't think of that one.
It's like the Steve Carell dance from Space Force.
Right?
Have you been watching that?
I've only gotten to like episode 7. I kind of my
There's
wife
only
goes
one more. There's only 8 episodes.
Okay, because my wife her and I watch certain things together, and she likes to depending on her mood. I mean, if she's having one of those days where she could use something funny, that's what we're gonna watch. If she wants something light, then we watch something else. We have a multitude of, thanks to Netflix. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping to finish it off. There's a couple of them I want to finish off. Person of Interest. I want to finish that one off, and she just hasn't been able to go back to it.
I finished that one off. I could definitely use a few more seasons of that. A lot of loose ends left.
Well, was there a finale, or have they said if there's going to be more?
No, I don't believe that there's going to be more.
Well, that sucks.
I think the last episode was released a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, and you got me interested in it, and now I'm going to have to find out that there are loose ends. That does not work, mister.
Well, I say loose ends just from my point of view. I think that some loose ends could be tied up, but if that was the last season and it's never going to be made again, then so be it.
Okay. I'm waiting for you to say you started iZombie.
that may be coming.
Okay.
I haven't committed to. Well, I have committed to Queen of the South.
Yes.
But that's probably only 10 or 15 episodes.
I may have to start watching that on my own. See, that's the funny part. I'll find something I want to watch. I'll start watching it. And if I'm not careful, during the day, my wife is working and she's not that far away from the TV when I'm watching it. And all of a sudden, she'll start listening and going, ooh, and she'll start laughing at things. And all of a sudden, she's like, I'm like, okay, we're going to switch over. No, let's watch this. It's like, oh, crap. So now she wants to watch it. And that means I can't watch it on my own because she wants to keep up with it.
And how dare you be an episode in front of her?
Oh, I catch all sorts of grief if I am.
I got one of my coworkers. He's a little bit hard of hearing, and he sat through all of the seasons of Downton Abbey because his wife wanted to. And he just sat there and he couldn't make out anything on the television set, but he did it just for
the things we do for
spending time with his wife.
Exactly, the things we do for our wives.
It's hard, man. Marriage is hard.
There are sacrifices. There are sacrifices. But I actually found my wife watching. She actually enjoyed Last Chance U with me, which I was surprised. She actually enjoyed that one. There was another one about basketball where it's kids on the reservation that play basketball. She actually liked that one. And she liked cheer. I was surprised because these are athletics things. She's normally not an athletic person, but she liked these. So, no, well, I think this week, what was the name you just said? Queen of the South?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm gonna have to write that one down during break and look it up.
It's on the Netflix top 10, and it probably will be for at least a week or two because it's new.
Gotcha. No, I'll probably watch that one, and I'm going to ask my wife if she's going to finish Person of Interest or not. If she's not, I'm going to finish it, and then we'll see what else I can find. I've got a whole bunch on the list marked that are docuseries and.
I don't watch. I've got a lot of things to do around the house, and I don't really feel comfortable sitting around and doing nothing. And watching TV. I'll do it for like if I'm eating dinner or something. I'll watch an episode of whatever.
Yeah.
But I won't sit down and binge for hours and hours and hours and hours just because it's like then I feel bad for not taking care of things that need to get taken care of.
And see, with this week, I guarantee you, because of my antibiotics, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Right. Yeah.
Because. Yeah, I have to keep my leg up because I don't need it to swell up, and two, there's a chance I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah, you sit down and you get comfortable on that couch, man. And you kind of hit that sleep button, and
and I do when I'm on antibiotics. No matter what's going on, I have to be really careful because. It does not take much for me to start yawning. Oh, hey, we are at the top of the hour.
Absolutely, we are.
All right, everybody. Mr. Koz, it is time for him to eat because he has to work tomorrow. And he's a working stiff.
And I've got a disappointing dinner to have.
What's so disappointing?
Well, it was supposed to be fajitas. And you're going to say, hey, what's so disappointing about fajitas?
Okay, hey, what's so disappointing about fajitas?
Dumbass, that means me, forgot to buy tortillas.
Oops.
And normally I'd be like, okay, no problem, I'll just make my own, but it's late for that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take hours to eat. So I'll do the fajitas tomorrow night, so I think I'm going to, and this is not because of the show, I think I'm going to heat up some pizza that I brought home on Friday.
Sure, it's not because of the show.
Pizza and ranch, man. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody. Stick around for the second hour. We actually have naked Florida man stories. Florida man stories are back. And we have all sorts of other fun stuff. And we're just going to, you know what? I've got to keep myself awake, so I'm going to be looking to keep you guys smiling. So, any words of wisdom for the rest of the week for everybody?
Sure. Good things come to those who wait, but great things come to those who get off their ass and make it happen.
Thank you very much. That works. All right, everybody, we'll be back in approximately 10 minutes. Do not go away. Get up, do some push-ups, sit-ups, do some jumping jacks, go get something to eat, go to the bathroom, and be back in 10 minutes, and we'll have some fun.
Awesome.
Talk to you, everybody, in 10 minutes. Shots.
Before coffee on a Tuesday, it's already been a bad week. My girls had a couple flats, and my dishwasher sprung a leak. From the kitchen, her complaining, you know it just ain't cute anymore. I get the itch, it starts drifting towards the great outdoors. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot. I hear the call. I just gone fishing. Let her know that I ain't gone. Junk mail don't come out there. My phone won't ring. The only thing I want to hear is my reel with a big one on a string. That large mouth don't talk at all, and my weight just sinks away. Set him free, bring him home. One decision I gotta make. I smell the honeysuckle blooms. I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot. I hear the call. Just gone fishing. Let her know that I ain't gone. I got my tackle box in the front seat and my bed spring in the bed. Don't come looking for me, 'cause I ain't coming home till long after that sunset. I smell the honeysuckle blooms. I can see the red buds too. I got the rods in my garage down on the wall. Threw my John boat in the truck, filled my camo cooler up. I hit the reset, hit my spot, heated that car. I just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. No, I ain't gone missing. I've just gone fishing. Let her know that I ain't gone. Spent my life in the mountains of East Tennessee. Days on the farm,
just comes naturally. Daylight to dark is not for the typical man. Just a backwoods country boy, proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Well, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Let's get on, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds downrange till the enemy gets the same. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Pack my bags, headed out to the big sandbox. Just some good old boys and me, some medicine night. Well, the price of freedom, son, it don't come free. I guess that's why the good Lord chose me. This here's my rifle, this here's my gun. Let's get on, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds downrange till the enemy gets the same. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. We do it for you. 'Cause that's what we do.
Just the same old routine, blowing trees, writing these bars, line after line, mining for a diamond, but a dime is what I find, hiding from the truth by simply coasting through these hard times with green, even though I'm feeling blue. But I gotta face the facts, girl, you know that it's true. That maybe what I'm supposed to do is not to get so close to you. But these days the only things that seem great are fading away, and the only time I feel home is when I'm alone or far away. But the road call says the wind blows, 10 missed calls on my flip phone, so it stays closed. Staring out my window while my mind slowly goes off into my headphones, hoping that the dough will be worth it for the show, but who knows?
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change.
And day after day, it's just the same old thing. Working class life, and yes, it surely will bring a food to the table and a roof when it rains. But for the most part, you're just doing the same thing. A part of a machine with a ball and a chain. You try to be happy, yet all you feel is pain. It's a shame to use your brain and know that someone never changed. But if insanity's the game, then you can take my hand and play. Life has a rhythm that I ride to, and you can come along if you would like to. And I can show you what it's like to walk in my shoes, to learn how to love just like I do. Look me in the eye and you will find truth. I'm testifying to the lying in my mic booth. And you're hating on me 'cause I ain't like you. I ain't like you.
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids gonna change. Yo, my life is like a movie that nobody's producing. I write the music but nobody is moving, cause don't nobody care and everyone's confused. So the characters change and never reaching a conclusion. And I don't know if I'll make it to the end, cause all I know is after we begin, the wind shifts us in many different directions. Like the pen lifts up off the paper, disconnected from anything we can feel, hear and see. And the words that I write mean something more than just to me. It's amazing that we've all grown accustomed to change, cause we can rearrange a pattern that's always been ingrained. They want us to grow up and stop acting how we want, but if you tell me I can't do something, I'll make sure it gets done. Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
All right, and we are back, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the second half of Kicking It with Koz. I am Owl. Koz is now eating dinner. He's eating a pizza. Spanky, Koz is having pizza without you. All right, everybody. We're going to try to keep it positive. We're going to try to keep it upbeat. If I seem a little subdued, I apologize. Medication does do that to me. But I'm here and I want to help everybody keep a smile on their face. Like I said, we've got some fun stories this hour, including, of course, naked Florida man stories. Can't you wait for that? We got them again. They finally are getting away from covering stuff that just isn't as important as a naked man in Florida. Oh man, we were talking about beforehand, and as far as who made that comment, D-Max or no, Branko, who dances better than me or Steve Carell. I'll tell you what, if I was standing up, it would be me, hands down. But I'm sitting down, so I'm limited on my moves, man. You have to admit, you just got to have fun with life. Wear a condom. I thought 2020 is canceled. No, man, 2020 is not canceled. There's many people that would like you to believe it is. They want you to not participate. And you know what? We need to participate in 2020. We need to be there. Why can't I be naked in my backyard in Florida, man? Or in Florida. Stephen, probably because you aren't high off of drugs or drunk so blitzed Although maybe that was you in the military I saw running around streaking. No. You just have to have fun. And what better place to have fun than here with me? Let's talk about silly stuff. It's time to, you know what? COVID is gone. It may still be around, but we're open. We're here to stay. Riots, you know what? I'd rather be having a laugh riot than a riot that's out there right now, because the riots that are out there right now are proof that when people aren't in school or have jobs, they got nothing better to do than be trouble. Think about that. All right? So let's try to have some fun. Let's talk about the fun things in life, and let's enjoy ourselves. All right, here we go. First story up. Naked Florida man spent 24 hours vandalizing school. A Florida man who was caught on surveillance cameras spending nearly 24 hours inside a school vandalizing the campus while wearing only a hat and headphones. Ooh, okay. Matthew Crandall, 21, was arrested after destroying rooms, walls, hallways while nude. I never get why nude, okay? Crandall broke into Miramar High School around 7 a.m. Monday and spent the next 24 hours smashing computers and flooding hallways. He was arrested and charged with burglary and criminal mischief. You know, okay, first of all, REM, the water level in Louisiana has gone down in a few inches, still about 4 to 6 feet in some areas, for your information. Thank you, REM, I appreciate that. Now, you know, I have to ask you, all of you Floridians, what's up with the naked stuff, man? I mean, I like being around naked, but I don't want to be out there naked when I know I'm not exactly young, I'm not buff, I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. What reason would I have to go walking around nude and making people lose their lunch, man? Makes no sense to me. It's like, what are you trying to... You flashing yourself hoping to get found? Right, Stephen? Where the heck did he put his iPod? Albert, yes, you can be naked. It doesn't mean you aren't going to get arrested. I mean, they do have nudist colonies. They have places, nude beaches. Go to them. You want to get high and be naked? Go to them. But I don't get that. He's vandalizing a school. What purpose does it serve you to vandalize a school and be naked? I just don't get it. What's the whole reasoning? I mean, is there a code in Florida that says if you're going to do something stupid, to be naked? Is there a code? I mean, they put clothes on. They put clothes on him, Albert. Yeah, right, Stephen? Said I have to wear clothes and a mask at work, but not sure where these randoms are getting the idea to run around a shut down school naked, right? Exactly. What is the reasoning? You're vandalizing a school. You're breaking stuff. So therefore you got glass and all sorts of stuff all over the floor, and you're naked. Seems there's a bit of a miscommunication as to what you could end up walking on, or something coming at your body and maybe getting a piece of glass lodged in a place you don't want it. I don't know. Only in America. Only in America. You, the 4%, fought for these idiots to do this. Let them entertain you. I know I did stupid stuff in the military, but not that stupid. I know some of the stuff I did. Yeah, if I would have gotten caught, Article 15, court martial, whatever. But I'll tell you what, I didn't go and do it and then say, hey, on top of doing this, I'm going to strip down naked to advertise I'm doing something stupid. Now let's go to something a little, I think it's actually kind of smart. Okay, well, have a good time. Enjoy Twilight. Florida graduating class receives diplomas on jet skis. Now, to me, this is actually kind of a cool way of social distancing. The COVID pandemic has ruined graduation ceremonies around the world, but one Florida school came up with a cool alternative. Somerset Island Prep, a charter school in Key West, took to the water to make sure its class 2020 got the celebration they deserved. The graduates rode jet skis to pick up their diplomas, complete with caps and gowns, as is the custom, but also life jackets and face masks. You know, to me, this is actually pretty cool. It's a cool workaround, if you ask me. Principal Tom Rampello awaited them on a dock at Southernmost House, an historic hotel in Key West. Unique times call for unique measures, he said in a release. We've been telling our class of 2020 that any challenge can be overcome, so that this is another challenge that we're going to overcome, and it's going to be their last challenge that they overcome for high school as they go on and start their life. They had 11 students. It isn't like it's a big school, right? 11 students received jet ski lessons before the ceremony. According to Florida Keys Weekly, Island Prep's curriculum allows for students to simultaneously obtain a high school diploma and a college associate's degrees. This was the school's first graduating class. That is actually pretty cool. Stephen, you know that I hear Key West is actually pretty cool. All right, Albert, I know you had to ask, but you notice I did say gowns. So what they wore underneath their gowns is not I'm not going to go poking around. It's kind of like saying, okay, going up to a woman and saying, what's up your skirt? No, you don't do that. I've heard some pretty cool things about Key West, Stephen. I personally have not been there, but I actually, as you know, everybody calls the manatees the sea cows. I like the manatees, and I'd actually love to go down there because you can actually swim with the manatees and all this other stuff. And I've actually thought about going down there, but my biggest problem with it is, one, the distance, and two, the humidity. But I mean, it's great that you're going to go. Drag races don't involve tires. Yes, Stephen. Yes, I got that one. It should be fun down there. From what I've heard, especially in the Keys, it's very laid back. It's very the only downside is they're very social conscious. I don't know if I appreciate that, but they're very laid back. They're all about drinking and partying down there. So if that's what you need for your vacation, you know, that you're probably going to enjoy yourself, you know. Next one up. Now this is kind of funny. It's kind of a sign of the times, kind of sad in some ways, but funny in others. Human poop and scoop signs surface at Trinity Bellwoods. Poop and scoop signs have popped up at Trinity Bellwoods Park, but they're not directed towards dogs. After massive crowds converged at Trinity Bellwoods Park 2 weeks ago and park bathrooms remained locked, neighbors in the area complained that people were urinating, in some cases defecating on their properties. So this past weekend at the city, as the city prepared the park better for social distancing by drawing chalk circles on the grass, someone with some good photoshopping and design skills came up with these signs asking people to be a good neighbor and pick up after their human. With stick figures drawing of a person squatting and having a poop while another person is waiting with a bag to collect the excrement. That's inventive. I'll give it that. There's also a disclaimer at the bottom. Please don't actually poop in the park. Stay home. There's also a little roll of toilet paper attached to drive the point home. That, I mean, yeah, okay. It was really bad because the city decided to open up all the parks and not open up all the rest bathrooms, said local neighbors. 10,000 people, no bathrooms, you do the math. All of us live on this street, and what happened? Everyone was coming to pee on this side. Imagine urinating on the side of your house, on the walls. My 10-year-old saw 3 ladies and 2 men urinating on the wall. How is it that people think it's okay? This isn't Woodstock. Another person commented on the Friends of Trinity Bellwoods Park Facebook group, said she's been seeing a lot of deposits in the alley. Canada has always been in denial about the need of public washrooms. By the way, if you didn't know, this is actually up in Canada. I think it's Toronto. Yeah, the city of Toronto has 1,500 parks, and while we saw largely inappropriate physical distancing taking place, Trinity Bellwoods was an exception. We had 10,000 people in the park, and it led to significant concerns. Obviously, COVID transmission, but also impact to the surrounding community. You know, Stephen, yeah, I thought it was California too. No, the more you work out, the more you do stuff, the more you move, the more your body needs to move things out. So, yeah, I mean, if you're, trying to climb the tallest mountain in Australia, you're going to have to go to the bathroom at some time. Same thing with parks. What reason they said, okay, you can go ahead and come out to the parks, but then they didn't open the bathrooms? That does not make sense to me. So I think it kind of goes back on Toronto at the same time. They knew that people were going to come out. They should have opened up the restrooms. That only makes sense. But what someone photoshopping that, you have to admit that is kind of cute. Who knows? Maybe they need that down in San Francisco. And then, of course, I have some. I have to make. I'm not always going to make fun of the United States. Man busted after stealing ambulance and taking it for a joyride. A man was arrested after stealing a Winnipeg ambulance and taking it for a joyride early Friday. A paramedic ambulance crew was en route to their station at around 8:30 a.m. when they came across an individual in the vicinity of Notre Dame and Furby who was clearly in need of assistance, said Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. The crew pulled over to curb and went to lend aid to the person. But within about 70 seconds, they realized the individual was threatening harm to them, and the paramedics activated their emergency response button on their radios to summon police. Excuse me. Lane said, I will just say that actions of the crews were absolutely appropriate. They interpreted a threat, they pushed their emergency buttons, and made made sure they made themselves as safe as possible. Short time later, the ambulance collided. The ambulance was taken, but then collided with a building at the corner of Yonge Street and Notre Dame, and the individual was apprehended by police. You know, I'm kind of bringing this up because, you know, not everything is about the United States as far as trouble, okay? There's trouble everywhere else too. You would think that, you know, we always hear about our news, and our news tries to make it like the U.S. is always at fault, or the U.S. always has these problems. No, every other country out there has these problems. You just don't read about them. They don't make it to the news. I mean, come on. The stupid old thing of some guy getting drunk or doing something, and all of a sudden jumps in someone's ambulance or police car and takes off with it. Stupid move. Everybody thinks it only happens in the U.S. No, it happens in other countries too. And we were talking about delivery. Well, this is a different kind of delivery. Let me see. There we go. Delayed delivery. Toronto man finally gets hair cream he ordered in 2012. It took 8 years, but a Toronto man finally received an expedited package from the Canadian Post. Now, guys, this is Canada. Tells you how what expedited means up there. Elliot Bernstein posted a Reddit this week. He received a package on May 6th from Well, California. He didn't recall ordering anything recently from the pharmacy, so he was surprised to find a tube of hair cream he ordered 8 years ago with an invoice signed by Jen thanking him for his order. Upon opening the package, I realized it was a tube of Brill cream I ordered in 2012. The contents of the tube is yellow, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be white. My theory is it was sitting at Canada Post, and they finally decided to deliver after 8 years. I do not blame Jen for this. Bernstein, a 29-year-old resident physician, said he started laughing when he realized what had happened. I quickly realized an order I placed in 2012 that I never got. He had been living in Ottawa when he placed the order, but the hair cream never arrived at that address. California said they would ship the product again to his Toronto home, which he thought might be easier. When it didn't again arrive at that address, he gave up. I think it's probably I probably got misplaced somewhere, maybe in one of the mail sorting rooms, and was off to the side and no one ever looked for it. Maybe they're trying to reorganize things in the whole COVID pandemic, so finally someone saw it. Stephen, you got packages 2 years late. You know, I can't say I've had that problem myself, but I've heard about those problems. People will sit there and say, yeah, you know, they, you know, especially, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen when, you know, stuff gets shipped overseas. Back in my day, when I was in the military stationed over in Europe, I can remember over in Europe, it would take as much as 45 days to get something from the United States. And it wasn't because it was purposely on slow. It's just the way things moved. Back then, it was, they had to so much. They were only allowed to move so much per flights, and you had to rely on only flights that were going from here to there, rather than now having UPS, FedEx, and all these that have flights, and then the U.S. mail will sometimes pay to add it onto their shipments. They received them and wanted to know what to do. Had twice tried to send me some bumper stickers when Red Leg was running the show. You know, the mail isn't perfect. I will say that. Mail is not perfect. And I've had problems once or twice. Something didn't show up. And they even said, we don't know where it is. Okay, well, I paid for it. Get it to me. But stuff happens. It's funny to think about. Even with technology today. Even with technology today, there's no such thing as a perfect system. You still have oopses. You still have things that show up late or not at all. You pay for expedited, supposed to show up within a day, and it doesn't show up for 3. It's weird. I mean, yeah, Kamo, you could do a show just about U.S. mail screw-ups. You could. I mean, I used to laugh. Remember how they used to say, if you took a piece of cardboard and you wrote a name or a name on it, it would get to where you said, you put an address on it, it would get there, because they always tried to make sure that service member stuff always got delivered, even if it was not, like an envelope, wasn't even a true postcard. I've seen that actually work. I've seen people do that just to test the system. But then I've seen the screw-ups. I've seen a package show up that was so beat up. I actually sent for a UPS battery, which is a backup battery. And I had ordered it. It got here, and it was in a box in a box, and it was so beat up that and this is it's metal casing. The metal casing was damaged. The circuitry in the casing was damaged, and this was not just a little box, a box that was barely in it. No, they actually put stuffing around this box. So that was like, it had jiggle room so that it wasn't, you could punch through it, and you went through this much cushion to get to the next box, and it still managed to get damage. Yeah, right. Steven says MREs have postcards. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things we could talk about that stuff, and it's not just military, post office in general. I can remember when it was a lot worse. I can remember when you sent a letter anywhere in the United States to somewhere else in the United States, you were happy to hear that it only took 30 days to get there. That was, to me, I mean, that kind of tells you how old I am. 60s and 70s. I'd write my grandma, thank you for the Christmas present, thank you for the birthday present. And I'd send it out, and they'd call or write back, and you get their mail a month later. So it's 2 months, and they're like, I received your thank you, and it's so nice to talk to you. And it's like, it took a month to 45 days to go from Nebraska to Washington State in the mail. Wow. Now, I send out a letter, and it's normally there in less than a week. I think the times have changed so much, and I really... I have to laugh at people who sit there and say, man, that's so slow. The mail is so slow. No, it is not. You do not know slow mail. You do not know slow mail. Just I always have to laugh when people bring that up. All right, a next story. Let's see. What do I feel like talking about? Oh, there we go. A New Jersey grandmother wears colorful unicorn costume to greet her grandkids during the COVID pandemic. Handshakes with new acquaintances and hugs from loved ones feel like something of a relic amid the COVID pandemic. But one grandmother found a fun, colorful way to greet her grandchild. Maureen Sweeney strapped on a colorful unicorn costume in an effort to greet her grandkids, Ryan and Lincoln, in New Jersey. Hugh Dillon, her son, captured footage of the May 24th reunion when Sweeney trotting down the street before her kid up with a enthusiastic hello. The grandmother only lives a few blocks away from the grandchildren, but it was the first time they had hugged since March 17th due to the COVID. Grandma will always find a way to get things done, she said. Thanks to the unicorn costume, she was able to hug them without worrying about passing anything along. And of course, these pictures and video went viral. That's kind of interesting. And if you think about it, kind of a funny way to do things. Because, anytime you rent out a costume, they send it to the cleaners. That's part of your fees. So in all actuality, you're not having to pay for the sterilization, but you can use something like that and not have to worry about contamination. I think that was pretty smart of her. Kind of funny too. Now here's something that everybody's always wondered about. What would happen if Australian man acquitted after two allegedly entering wrong home and with machetes for sexual fantasy. Scaring stranger. The two men snuck into a bedroom with machetes after being hired to carry out a stranger's sexual fantasy of being tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom, only to discover they had got the wrong address. Oh my. The pair from Sydney, Australia made it their apologies and left the startled victims bedside as soon as they realized their mistake. One of them, Terrence Leroy, has now been acquitted of entering the home in July 2019, intending to intimidate while armed with an offensive weapon, after the New South Wales District Court accepted his explanation. Conceding the facts of this case are unusual, Judge Sean Grant set out his reasons for the not guilty verdict, saying the evidence did not suggest the men's actions were intentional. They carried the machetes either as a prop or something to use in their fantasy. The fantasy was unscripted and there was discretion as to how it would be carried out. According to court documents, a man living in Western South Wales wanted a broom handle to be rubbed around his underwear. Police said the intended client had history and proclivity for engaging the services of people. He had made arrangements with a man on Facebook for people to engage in role play and sent his address before he later updated it after moving house more than 30 miles away. Oh, wow. But the resident of the home where the man mistakenly turned up told police that when he noticed a light on in his lounge around 6:15 a.m., he assumed it was a friend who visits daily to make coffee. He said he called out off, it's too early. Bugger off, it's too early. After hearing a voice asking, "Is your name Kevin?" the man said he turned his light on to see two men he did not recognize standing next to his bed, both holding machetes. That would be a sight, yes. Conversation then ensued in which the pair repeatedly sought to establish at one point one of them asked, "Are you sure you are not Kevin, as we were told to come to this address and pick up Kevin?" Eventually, accepting their error, the duo then left with one saying, "Sorry, mate," and shaking the resident's hand while the other said bye. The resident then called police. Either he was Kevin, each time being told no in response. Oh, neither. He was not Kevin. I'm sorry. That is kind of funny. Yeah, pour a beer in your shoe and call it a day. You know, right, Albert, S&M gone wrong. That's just it. You don't know. You know, I've heard about these type of encounters where they try to do these role-playing games and, oh, meet me in this or meet me and do this. And I would have to say, if I was approached and someone asked me to do that, I would say, you know what? No. I would actually make them sign a contract, because too much these days, it would be nothing for someone to scream, "Oh, I didn't want that," or say that they took it too far or something, anything. I wouldn't want that. Oops. Anything out of the ordinary, hey, give me 5 seconds. I can draw up a contract. You want such and such on such and such a date, at such and such a time, at such and such a place. Here you go. Sign it. Because anymore, it takes nothing to end up in jail or have problems like these people just had. I mean, I can't imagine being on either side of it, because the guys holding the machetes, I mean, they have to be sitting there going, "Oh, shoot. Man, we were told." And here, I mean, they had to have felt bad because they're scaring the pants off this person. And the person in the bed is sitting there going, "Ah, I mean, come on." I would be completely, yeah, I'd have a hard time talking. Because that would be, I just can't imagine someone showing up with a gun, or not with a gun, with a machete, going, "Are you Kevin?" Yeah. It's like, oh no, please don't have a banjo. Right? I'd be, hey, I ain't Kevin. Who the fuck are you? Excuse my language. Who the heck are you? I'd pull out that gun. I'd be just, but there's two of them. It still would be, I mean, come on. They are so lucky nobody got hurt. Way lucky. Excuse me. Now, we've all heard about spies. But can you imagine a pigeon being a spy? India captures spy pigeon suspected of working for Pakistan. A pigeon suspected of being trained as a Pakistani spy has been detained near a disputed border in India after officials discovered a coated ring attached to its foot, according to a report. The pigeon, painted pink, was captured Sunday by villagers in Manyari, located near the international border that separates India and Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. While it is unclear where the bird comes from, it is reportedly believed that the bird flew from across the border in Pakistan. The pigeon suspected to be trained in Pakistan for spying, has a ring with alphabets and numbers written on it. Though birds have no boundaries and may fly across international borders during migration, a coded ring attached to the captured pigeon body is a cause for concern, and migratory birds don't have such things. You know, I could come up with many questions. I have questions about this. What is, unless the pigeon is holding a camera going, brr, brr, smile, smile. How can a pigeon be a spy? Because unless the pigeon has some form of camera on it, or you have fed it some sort of nutrient that makes their poop bombs. I mean, really? That's paranoia at its worst. Dude, the pigeons. You just, yeah, I mean, come on. That's one of those, okay, someone's sitting there going, the pigeons, man, the pigeons. And you either think they're on an acid trip or they just got off a psychiatric ward. I mean, really. And yet, villagers trap this thing thinking that. And it's like, were you all high at the time? Unless you saw a camera attached to it, or you started hearing bombs going off after it pooped. Really? Really? I mean, what can you train a pigeon to do that is not carrying nothing? Go and poop on someone's car? Dang, man! I mean, that's not a national security problem. It just isn't. Right, Stephen? He said, uneducated people are extremely gullible. You just don't know, man. I'm just sitting there going, what? He's going to go over to El Presidente's car and poop on it, and that's, we got him. Pakistan got Mark chalk one up for Pakistan. Come on. Let's use a little bit of sense here, people. But then that would be asking for sense. Okay. Now, talking about trying to get out of being caught for something. A Peruvian mayor poses as corpse to avoid arrest for flouting the COVID lockdown. Now his politician career may be dead. The mayor of a town in Peru posed as a dead coronavirus victim by lying in a coffin while wearing a face mask to avoid being arrested for violating lockdown rules that he should have been helping enforce, according to Thursday's reports. The mayor was out drinking with friends in Tantaria on Monday night when he allegedly played dead to throw off cops who arrived to bust them for defying public health orders amid the pandemic. The mayor, who was already faced criticism for being absent for much of the time during the outbreak, is shown in a photo released by local police lying in a coffin with his eyes closed. I wasn't able to find that picture. Torres was detained for violating curfew and social distancing laws, the paperwork reports. Police claim the mayor staged the macabre scene to appear as if he was a victim of COVID. It was immediately clear that he and his pals were drinking, or it wasn't immediately clear where he and his pals were drinking or why open caskets were nearby. You know, Yeah, I do have to ask this question. What reason were there caskets nearby? Where were they that you could go get drunk and then find caskets? I want to know. But other than that, I mean, come on. At some point, you have to lead by example, and especially since you're supposed to be supposedly a mayor, or you're supposed to be a politician, you're supposed to lead by example, and it doesn't take much. I mean, come on, we've all been doing it, and to our, each of us to our own lengths. It's not that hard. Some people just don't. They think they're above everybody else, and that's the sad part about it. All right, everybody, we're getting towards the end of the show, and I don't have any guests at this time that I see lined up, but we do have shows Monday night, which is Monday Night Edition with Ice and Flash. Tuesdays are Pop Culture Wear with CQ and Radar. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time with Ice and Spanky, and then, of course, Sundays are Kicking It with Koz, which is Koz and Owl. Owl is me. With everything that is going on, I hope I could brighten up your day and remind you. The world keeps turning. The world keeps doing silly stuff. You can have a positive view. You can share things and be social if you're not in the presence of other people. But remember, once you're allowed to be in the presence of other people, go do it. The longer you wait, the harder it is to be social again. Don't forget that that is a part of life, is to interact, to be real, to exist. You are capable. You've shown that. You've proven it. Anytime you've served, you've proven that you are more than capable of anything if you set your mind to it. I will always say it. You're the top 4% of the United States because you answered the call when others didn't. Never forget that, guys. I talked today about me not feeling good and everything, but what does bring me up is when I know I can talk to you guys. Because you guys are part of my family just as much as anybody else. And I really enjoy the time that I can sit here and BS with you. Have fun. Bring some silly stories. And get you, for even if it's for 2 hours, to just enjoy. All right, everybody. We're getting out of the COVID. Start calling around. See if the parks are open. Go camping. Go fishing. Go do something. You are capable. Do it. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. And you deserve to enjoy your life. You did the hard time. You did the suck. Now go enjoy. All right, everybody. We are at the end of our time for this week. Remember, as I like to remind everybody, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it real. And remember to smile. Because you just don't know who you're going to help, including your own self. Have a good rest of the week. I will be back here, Kicking It with Koz. Kicking It with Koz will be back next week. So come join us. And have a good week. Love you all. And, well, shots.
Seems just the same old routine. Blowing trees, writing these bars, line after line, mining for a diamond, but a dime is what I find. Hiding from the truth by simply coasting through these hard times with green, even though I'm feeling blue. But I gotta face the facts, girl, you know that it's true. And maybe what I'm supposed to do is not to get so close to you. But these days the only things that seem great are fading away, and the only time I home is when I'm alone or far away. But the road call says the wind blows. 10 missed calls on my flip phone, so it stays closed. Staring out my window while my mind slowly goes off into my headphones. Hoping that the dough will be worth it for the show, but who knows?
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day. And there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change, no. We're never gonna change.
Man, day after day, it's just the same old thing. Working class life, and yes, it surely will bring a food to the table and a roof when it rains. But for the most part, you're just doing the same thing. A part of a machine with the ball and a chain. You try to be happy, yet all you feel is pain. It's a shame to use your brain and know that someone never changed. But if insanity's the game, then you can take my hand and play. Life has a rhythm that I ride to, and you can come along if you would like to. And I can show you what it's like to walk in my shoes, to learn how to love just like I do. Look me in the eye and you will find truth. I'm testifying to the lying in my mic booth. And you're hating on me cause I ain't like you, and I ain't like you.
Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day. And there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change, no. We're never gonna change. Yo, my life is like a movie that nobody's producing. I write the music but nobody is moving, cause don't nobody care and everyone's confused. And the characters change and never reaching a conclusion. And I don't know if I'll make it to the end, cause all I know is after we begin, the wind shifts us in many different directions. Like the pen lifts up off the paper, disconnected from anything we can feel, hear and see. And the words that I write mean something more than just to me. It's amazing that we've all grown accustomed to change, cause we can rearrange a pattern that's always been ingrained. They want us to grow up and stop acting how we want. But if you tell me I can't do something, I'll make sure it gets done. Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day. And there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change, no. We're never gonna change.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.